So I decided to do a live because I wanted to basically express my concerns for Zion Williamson and basically bring some, you know, um, attention to this situation. This situation with him and Mariah Mills is now to the point to where it's very concerning, and I do think that it's time that Adam Silver and the NBA gets involved. First of all, this lady is pretty much 10 years older than he is, and her antics the past couple of weeks is beyond her being a scorned woman. She's now, getting tattoos, and which the type of tattoo that she got put on her face, she could easily get that removed. You know, she just wrote his name on her face. This lady is just stalking him, and Zion Williamson needs to bring the authorities in. She is cyberbullying him, stalking him, harassing him. If this was a man doing this to a woman, you would have people all over the internet talking about the authorities should get involved. But because this is a woman and this is a black man, nobody gives a rat's ass. But I am concerned about Zion's well-being because now this lady seemed like she really owns some nutcase stuff. And if I'm Zion Williamson, I'm getting a lawyer. I am going to get a cease and desist order. I'm going to put a restraining order on her, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect myself and my interests, because at the end of the day, this lady reportedly has, since her social media account has been suspended, basically tweeted out over, they're saying 50,000 messages, and that's just weird. And don't come here talking this, she's a woman scorned, he hurt her, and all this stuff. Let me tell you something about her. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna go a direction that a lot of people are scared to talk about. I don't even think this chick was really into brothers until she got with Zion. Because if you look at some of her music videos, her models are white. You look at her movies, well, the actors are white. I think she really prefers Zaddy over brothers. And Zion was unfortunately gullible enough to invest, or should I say, waste his time in her, in a worthless woman. She ain't worth a damn, and she basically showing it. At the end of the day, you 30 something years old. What you expect? How could you even remotely think that you was his number one? Now, is Zion Williamson a trick? Yes, he is. But does he deserve to be stalked? Absolutely not. Like I said before, if this was the other way around, they would be crying outrage. They would be talking about all this Me Too stuff, and because when it comes to the Me Too movement, in particularly, they only really like to go after black men. You know, because it started with Harvey Weinstein, who basically was the front man, but then they started to come after Bill Cosby and other people. But I can name several white celebrities that was accused of doing the same thing as Bill Cosby, but nobody said nothing. And then you look at Danny Masterson, the media just completely downplayed this situation. You haven't even really heard them say anything about this. And this should have been a high profile case. But due to the fact of his skin complexion, he gets away with it and stuff. So, this needed to get put out there because, like I said, I'm really concerned for Zion's well-being. He need to, like I said, get a lawyer, and he need to get a cease and desist. He need to put a restraining order on her. And like I said, Adam Silver needs to get involved because this is crazy for him to be getting stalked like this. And this lady getting tattoos of his name on her face. Like I said, this lady is a weirdo. And anybody that's trying to defend her behavior, any of you scallywags, skanks trying to defend her behavior, it just really shows your mental makeup. You can't justify this type of behavior. I don't want to hear this stuff about she was hurt and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, she got to know the play, but she really trying to cling on to this. She's stalking him. She's stalking the team. So, I mean, this is concerning, and Adam Silver needs to get involved. But you know, Adam Silver is consistent at being inconsistent. And I also think that Adam Silver need to send a message to ESPN and Malika Andrews, which I'm gonna talk about her later on because I got a special video for her. So you know, I may go live with my issue with Malika Andrews because she just keep bringing this stuff up and trying to basically smear the names of black men. And I already know eventually what her go-to move gonna be because it's gonna be predictable when she starts to get called out about this. So, you know, at the end of the day, like I said before, this lady then took this attention-seeking thing just way too far. She really is coming across as being thirsty and pathetic. She doesn't look like a victim. She looks thirsty and she looks desperate and she looks pathetic. And somebody need to tell her that. And somebody need to go on whatever social media she got left and just tell her, why don't you just bug off and why don't you just take your L like a woman and just move on, you know? But at the end of the day, you looking at Zion and you just got to keep it real about Zion. Zion is, you know, as that saying goes, young, dumb, and full of you know what. I got to keep it funky about Zion. This is what happens when you don't have strong male role models in your life, you know, because at the end of the day, you need to get educated, and not just in school as far as books go, as far as how to handle a woman. And people could sit up there and say, oh, that's misogynistic and all this stuff. But, you know, you seeing the misandrists, you know, at full strength now about how a man is supposed to conduct themselves and how to handle a man. But if you sit up there and say how you supposed to handle a woman, you're shamed for it. And particularly if you're a black man. And I have to say this to the new generation of black men, the next generation, future generation, whatever you want to call it. It gets to the point where y'all gonna have to put y'all foot down because y'all too timid. At the end of the day, y'all tolerate too much. You know, just like you go around letting these punk ass white boys and Mexicans and Asians use the N word in front of you and stuff, and don't say nothing. And then when we say, hey, you shouldn't allow that, you try to get mad. You try to get all, you know what I'm saying? You try to get all animated with the brother who basically trying to get y'all some game. It's funny how black people got this, you know, they want to drink their tough juice when it comes to like trying to pull up and loke up on other black people. But then when it comes to these non-blacks, all of a sudden you want to be timid. You want to say, oh man, it's not a big deal. At the end of the day, you new generation of black men are cowards. But to a certain degree, I have to take accountability to a certain degree. Well, not me, but some of y'all niggas, I hold y'all accountable because y'all didn't play a pivotal role in your child's life. This is what happens when you leave a black man in the hands of a woman to be raised by a woman, because then they start to develop timid and female traits. So black women, I know some of y'all think I'm bashing y'all, but I'm just holding y'all accountable, and it just got to be said. I'm not finna bite my tongue because I'm worried about y'all being mad. I gives two fucks about y'all having an attitude with me, because at the end of the day, it's time to put that out there. And y'all can sit up there and act like you don't know where this is coming from and think that niggas are scared to talk to y'all, to call y'all out. I'm calling y'all out too. Real talk. Y'all need to be called out, and it's time to start calling y'all asses out. Stop playing victim. A lot of times you are the perpetrator of the crime. And y'all done proved that y'all can't raise a young black man by y'allself. Y'all failed miserably, and this is the end result. This is what these young men have came to be. They went from having testosterone to estrogen. Y'all done made these young brothers mentally weak. And I think that's and I think Zion Williamson is an example of what has become of this new generation of black men. Somebody should give him some game, because at the end of the day it's one big game. And somebody needs to educate him on how to handle certain type of women, or a woman in general. Like I said, I don't even think Mariah Mills is into black dudes like that. She saw Zion as a mark, and then basically, when she saw she wasn't the only one, that he was paying attention to, she got mad, because I guess she thought it was all about her. So but these extreme measures that she going through, she looks pathetic, and somebody need to tell her that she need to get a life and go on about her business. But for real, all this stalking and stuff that she doing, she look really ridiculous. And Zion, like I said, he need to get a lawyer, and he need to come after her full throttle, and the NBA needs to come after her full throttle. They need to completely shut her down. They need to have her investigated, and they need, at the worst case scenario, send the authorities to her house. She need to be investigated, and she need to be paid a visit, because she's clearly stalking this dude. And then she made threats talking about, I'll release the videos and stuff. And my thing is, why are you even filming y'all doing stuff together? And this is what happens with these celebrities. And Biggie said it best: more money, more problems. A lot of these dudes, this is why sometimes they don't like, playing professional sports and stuff, because they wonder who is around them for them, or around them because they want to have a certain type of stature. Like I said before, people love to holler about, oh, look how much money you make. And sometimes it ain't always about the money. The money is the problem. The stature is the problem. People think if they around you or align with you, that brings them stature. And then sometimes a lot of these niggas and bitches align themselves with you because they want you to fall. Because they really plotting on your demise. So that's another thing. That's why I ain't one of these dudes that's always sitting up talking about how much money somebody making and they need to stop doing this. Because at the end of the day, you are not in the head of whoever is going through whatever we talking about. At the end of the day, as media people, we give our opinion, we critique, and it's our right to do it. But at the same time, we're not psychiatrists. We don't know what they're going through. And like I said before, you could just tell how Zion was raised. He wasn't raised to be what you call headstrong. And like I said, this is a serious problem in our community, and particularly the black community, because we are raised to think a certain way. We are raised to be timid towards other people. Like I said, my generation of black people, we didn't tolerate some of the stuff that these new generation of black men tolerate. Like I said, we didn't let no white boys and no Mexicans and no Asians go around calling us the N-word and using it right in front of us. Man, that was an instant beatdown. And for people that'll sit up there and say, well, what's wrong with people that ain't black using the N-word? What's right with it? So that's for all you non-blacks that's gonna sit up here and say, well, what's wrong with it? What's right with it? Can we call you what would be derogatory terms for your race or your ethnic group? If you say it's okay, then you can continue to call us the N-word. So when we can call y'all whatever derogatory terms is for your ethnic group, yeah, then we'll be even killed. But at the end of the day, y'all sound lame, y'all sound stupid, and you don't sound cool. Too much swagger jacking, and that's just real talk, and it need to be said, and it's gonna be said by somebody like me, because I told you I'm different from everybody else. Some people may not approve of my antics or how I present things, but I say it how it need to be said, and I pull no punches. Like I said before, the biggest problem globally with black men, we always made to feel like we got to explain ourselves to everybody and give everybody an explanation. One thing about me, I ain't got to explain shit to y'all. I don't owe you an explanation about everything, unless it's pertaining to possibly something illegal. or possibly being in a situation where I can make some money, then I'll give you an explanation. But I ain't got to always explain myself, and I sure in the hell ain't got to explain my people. Like I said, black people, stop acting like you always got to explain yourself to everybody. People don't feel like they owe us an explanation, so why we feel like we always have to explain and cop a plea to these other people? That's just not me. That's just not how I'm built. So, you know, I'm really concerned about Zion. This is just beyond the point to where we're kind of like was poking fun at him. When this first started to surface with these chicks, and I just want to say something. All these chicks, and I'm gonna say something else, and this is gonna ruffle some feathers too. And I said this before. I just want to tell a lot of you black women that always sitting up here applying pressure to black men, in particularly black celebrities, to date y'all and claim that black men are not loyal to y'all. Well, look what's going on with Zion. Now, before you say that Mariah Mills is Guyanese, first of all, Guyanese is Aboriginal or indigenous Native Americans, in particularly with melanin in them, with a splash of Asian and African ancestry, which means she's black. So stop it. Please stop it. For those who are trying to play that, oh, well, you can't put this, come on, man. Now, I bet you her identification say black. I done seen and heard some of her videos. She say the N-word on her videos. Okay. And then, well, what about the other two? And I just want to say to that other lady that's supposed to have been with Zion Williams, you are a straight up scumbag. How in the hell you gonna sit up there and take a picture of somebody while they sleep? But like I said, these black women sit up here, especially these content creators, they'll make videos about how they get sick and tired of black men not wanting to date them when they're rich and famous. Well, you're justifying brothers going another direction because you ain't no better than the people that you accuse us of not wanting to be with y'all for. You basically giving us a reason. So at the end of the day, if you ain't about improving to be better and to be a better option, shut up. Shut your damn mouth. Because we're tired of hearing that. Because the funny thing is, when you date everybody but us, you tell us to mind our own business. You tell us that you're happy and all this kind of stuff. Like I said, black man is the only race and group of people that's shamed for everything. We're not allowed to have a voice. We're not allowed to have an opinion. We're not allowed to defend ourselves. As the late, great Kevin Samuels would say, we just supposed to take it. We supposed to take orders, but not give orders. We're not supposed to respond in any way, shape, or form. If we respond to anything, we don't have thick skin, we're weak, we're emotional. But then if somebody says something about somebody else, then it's okay for them to respond. Like I said, we got to stop taking the bait, and we got to stop falling for that stuff. We got to stop being made to feel guilty. It gotta be a line drawn in the sand. And to me, I've always had a long stick and started drawing a line in the sand. It's about a mile long. Real talk. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. This needed to be said. But for real, I do think that the NBA needs to get involved. I think the authorities need to get involved because now this is just beyond attention seeking. This is like some real serious stuff. And I'm talking about the feds need to check and see, has this lady recently purchased any kind of weapons and all this kind of stuff? Because like I said before, she is cyber stalking, cyber bullying. She, to me, is taking this way too far. For real. Anyway, this needs to be said. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.